Hello, we just finished meeting for pronunciation practice on Monday, January 31st. And we started with two words that can sound very similar: four, coughing, and five, coffin. And it's especially confusing because when Americans make something more casual and they take the ing off and make it an in, it sounds like coffin, which sounds exactly like coffin. This is the box they put berry bodies in, and this one is just coughing. So coughing, the back of your tongue comes very high and touches the back of the top of your mouth. Coughing. This one, coffin. The front of the tongue comes up and touches behind the top teeth. Coffin. And the vowel that's stressed for both of them is ka, which is the same as coffee. Coffee. Love. Looks like an O, but sounds like an uh. I guess I was thinking of something else. I'm sorry. Love. Maybe O. Maybe we would maybe guess it would be an O, but it's an like up. And the same for dove. Uh. Cough by itself. Just cough, like off, on, cough. Cuff, like on a shirt, is an sound. Cuff. Like cufflinks. The tongue is very low and pulled back. Cuff. Now, finger, it looks like ing, but you do hear the g. So, finger. The back of the tongue goes up for the fing noise, and then you pull it down and make the release the air with g. Finger. It has to curl back for the r. Finger. So back is up really high. Finger. Finger. Ger. But for a singer, the back of the tongue is very high. Singer. You can kind of think of it as sliding back or singer, sliding forward, but it slides. It never pulls down to make a explosion of air. Ga. Nga. Nga. That's the noise you should hear if you're doing it right. Nga. Singer. It's the same for, and it doesn't have to be an ER, it could be an ING. Hanger. Ringing is doing that same motion twice. Ringing. Swinging. So it's kind of tricky to release it without pulling it down and letting the air release and make a g. So practice releasing it softly so that it doesn't pull down. G. Nga. Nga. Kind of slide it. And then sinner has the same vowel, I, as, well, I guess, never mind. It doesn't have the same vowel. Sing, your tongue's high for E. Sin, your tongue's a little lower, and the tongue's up in the front. Sin, sinner. Sleep, the tongue is very high. E, sleep. And 14, slip. The tongue's a little lower. Slip. So, how did you sleep? Slip of the tongue. I slept great. So the past tense, slept, has the vowel e as in head. So your tongue's more flat, the jaw is rather high. Slept, slip, sleep. Decaf. We start with the D as the stress syllable. Decaf. Paper. Pay. Your tongue has to rise. If it doesn't rise, it really could sound like pepper because pe are very close together. So the difference is for 17, paper, and 18, pepper. The your tongue stays flat. Pepper, as in Dr. Pepper. Cheesy. And even the word cheese looks like an S but sounds like a Z. Quinoa. Quinoa. Coach. I put an OU to remind you that it's O. The American O doesn't stay in one spot. It's not just coach, but O. Even starting more with the And I'm going to start using that. I'm going to change this chart to make you think of starting with the tongue low in the middle, O, and then rising in the back, O. Coach. The same co and coal and coat. And couch is totally different. It's ow, cow, like a cow. Couch. You start open and then you get rounded. Couch. And if you don't want to say couch, you can say sofa. Winter, you can say it with the T, totally perfectly correct. And you can also say it without the T. You can drop the T and say winter. So winter coat with lots of T's can sound like winter coat, no T's. Witness, you also don't hear the T here, but it's the opposite because your tongue's coming to the T first. Wit, and it's already in the same position for the N, so you just leave it there. Witness. Sport, when you start spore, immediately start rounding your lips to make the or sound, and you don't release the T, just hold it. Sport. If it was plural, then you will hear a little T, sports. Spat, the vowel is a, spat. Support, support. Thank you for your support. Oat milk, don't release the T, so it's not oat milk, but oat milk. You also don't have to release the K, so I'll put a little mark there to remember to hold it. Oat milk. Americans usually don't pronounce the L in almond. You can. You'll hear almond. You might hear almond, but almond is pretty standard. Almond. Affectionate. Affectionate. Oh, and that reminded me. My my newsletter. My next one coming up is all about when does a word sound like ate at the end, like ate, and when does this sound like it? It's weird. This is spelled ate, but we say it. So my blog newsletter, whatever it's called, um, tomorrow is all about that subject. When is ate it? This one will always be it. Affectionate. Caught. I know there's different dialectal differences, and more East Coast will have a rounded lips with an aw, caught. But for more general American English that most people are using, it's just ah, caught. That's it. Now, these are so confusing. I really understand why people get confused with woman, women, men, man, man. W. This O sounds like good. W. And this A sounds like a woman. This O sounds like hit, which was a bad word. But that's the word I have for the I for that position, it. And the same for, it could be men or men. Women, it's pretty simple. Women. Men. This is where I have to be careful with my accent. Men. Man. So Swimmin', I put there to remind you if you have trouble finding the right position for women. Swimmin' has the same vowel combination. Um, men's clothing, a man's coat. Whiner. Why, like why not? Whiner is the person, and whining is the verb. And whine, to whine is to say something like that, really stretchy. That kind of wine, the verb sounds the same as the noun wine you drink. It's exactly the same. Wine. Senate. This is an example of ate sounding like it. Senate. And now I'll go through all of them without talking. Coughing, coffin, coffee, love, cough, cuff, finger, singer, sinner, sleep, slip, slept, decaf, paper, pepper, cheesy, quinoa, coach, couch, winter or winner, witness, sport, spot, spat, support, oat milk, almond, affectionate, caught, woman, women, men, man, whiner, wine, Senate. That's it. Thank you for coming. And if you weren't, I hope you can join us another time. Have a good night.